Hi everyone, I'm so glad you are here. Lately, my friend and I have seen so many videos about China on YouTube, and that's what inspired us to start making our own, to share how we travel across our own country. We'll be showing you the best routes, sharing practical tips, and helping you avoid the typical tourist traps. So if you are planning a trip to China, you can watch our video. For our very first episode, we are heading to the famous 3D magic city Chongqing. We planned the perfect 2-day 1-night trip. I've broken this video into 4 parts: transport and accommodation, day 1 highlights, day 2 guide, and finally some bonus attractions. Now let's head into our first section. If you are arriving by high-speed train, try to pick Chongqing Station or Chongqing North Station. They are much closer to the city center. For those flying in, you can easily take the metro or airport shuttle bus downtown. The public transport system here in China is super extensive. In Chongqing, you can rely on the metro for almost every major site. For example, 9, 1, and 6 have multiple stops right at the doorsteps of famous attractions. You can also take Didi, which is Chinese Uber. The price is affordable. Most of the places we are visiting are in Yuzhong district, so it's best to book your stay within this red box. If you want to be right in the city center, stay near Jiefangbei. It's super convenient, but the downside is pricier and can be quite noisy. This time, we choose a hotel in the new financial district across the river. It's surrounded by office buildings, so it's very quiet and more affordable. Just make sure to pick a hotel near a metro station. One thing to note, taking a taxi back at night can be a headache because the bridge gets really congested. Alright, now that we're all set, let's head out. Since we took the high-speed train from Chengdu, it's already lunchtime when we arrived in Chongqing. But when I was looking back my Chongqing trip, I found that if you follow my schedule, whether you are starting your first day at midday or early in the morning, both will do. Today's spots are all linked together. You can skip some spots or pick the ones you like. Our first stop was the Shancheng Footpath. Firstly, set your destination to Yuzhong Jiashi Nursing Home. This way you will be walking downhill the whole time. You won't have to climb the mountain. By the way, it was winter vacation when I was here. As you can see in my video, it's super crowded, so you'd better avoid public holidays in China when you plan your trip. Shancheng Footpath is a cool mix of traditional Chongqing culture and modern trendy shops. It's built right against the mountain, overlooking the river. There are so many quirky little shops along the way. It's so fresh and unique. Walking can be really tiring, so I would recommend getting some local beverage, milk tea. This one right here is a big hit in China, but if the line is too long, just skip it and find another one. Once you see this shop, you are pretty much at the bottom of the footpath. I'd give this spot a 6.5 out of 10. It's definitely a one-of-a-kind spot, but it is also very touristy. After the long walking, you must be starving. My suggestion for lunch is to eat Chongqing hot pot. The soup base is a mix of beef fat, hot chilies, and many different spices. It can be extremely spicy for people who don't eat chilies often, but you can order a yuanyang pot, split pot. It comes with a non-spicy broth in the middle. Chongqing hot pot is famous for offal or organ meats, so remember to ask AI to do a translation for you. I'll put my recommendations on the screen. Once you are filled up, we are ready to hit our next stop. We were short on time, so we took a Didi to our next destination. We drove past Shibati on our way there. If you have time, you can take a walk in Shibati, which is also a popular place in Chongqing. We arrived at our second spot, Kuixing. I know you might be unfamiliar with this name, but besides the live view, this is the best spot to experience Chongqing's cyberpunk vibe. Now it seems like we are on the first floor. Actually, we are not. That is the first floor. The place I'm standing is the 22nd floor. This place perfectly shows how GPS fails in Chongqing. It looks like you are in the exact same spot on the map, but in reality, you will never find each other. This is a pretty small spot, so it won't take much of your time, but it's definitely an 8 out of 10. Alright, next up, shopping time. We can walk to our next stop. This area is right next to the absolute heart of the city, Jiefangbei. It is built to celebrate the end of World War II. As time goes by, it turns into a busy business center. You can take a walk in this area and have some coffee. Take it slow and save some energy for tonight. By the way, if you are a fan of Pop Mart, you know the brand that makes Labubu, there are tons of stores around Jiefangbei. For dinner, I went to try a famous local Chinese fast food chain, for we ate too much for lunch. It's a pay-by-weight style. You just grab a tray, pick whatever dishes you want, and they weigh it at the end. I got there pretty late, so a lot of options were already sold out. But if that's not your vibe, there are plenty of street snacks around the way to Hongyadong. Just pick whatever catches your eye. As night falls, we are heading towards Hongyadong. You may notice that we've been staying on the upper levels of the city all day. The best part is we don't have to climb up from the bottom. When you reach this spot, go upstairs. This is a viewing platform that was actually featured on Chinese national TV. It's a great spot to catch the iconic Chongqing night views. It will be crowded. Just wait for some minutes. After they finish taking pictures, people in the front row will eventually move out. But actually, I don't think it's the best place for taking pictures. Look at that bridge. That's what we are aiming for. It takes about 30 minutes to walk across it. If you don't want to walk anymore or you really want to avoid the crowds, you can spend some money to try a river cruise or go to an observation deck. These are the official prices posted in the Seneca area. Actually, don't buy tickets online. It's hard for foreigners to redeem their online tickets. Just buy them on site. The price is almost the same and it's way easier. But if you are down for a walk, you can follow my lead. Again, it's so crowded. We just have to follow the flow of the crowd onto the bridge. After walking a bit, make sure to turn around. After about 30 minutes of walking across the bridge, you'll get the full panoramic view of the skyline. So we just walk up from this path. If you want the best angles for your night photos, keep heading down along the lower path. However, if you are planning to head home by metro right after this, you'll need to stick to the upper side we're on. Now a quick shortcut for you. If you don't feel like walking across the entire bridge or you are coming from the other side just for the view, you can take the Metro 96 to Grand Theatre Station, take exit 4, and as soon as you step out, the entire skyline is right here in front of you. So that's all for our first day. Let me do a quick review for our first day with this picture. Good night to everyone. Morning! After having breakfast in a hotel, we hop in a Didi and headed straight to our first stop of the day. Honestly, we walked too much yesterday, and since there's going to be lots of climbing today, we only arranged 2 spots, both located along Metro 96. We've just arrived in our first stop, Arhat Temple. This is a Buddhist temple right in the heart of the city. It dates back to the Northern Song dynasty, so it's got a really long and rich history. By the time you walk in, you'll see people queuing up for something. This is where people perform a hand-washing ritual for purification. As we make our way to the main hall, you'll notice that each ticket comes with a seat of incense and a candle. You don't necessarily have to be religious to do it. It's more about showing respect. People come here to pray for health, peace, or even a bit of extra wealth. If you are lucky, you might hear the monks chanting, combined with the sound of the temple bells. It's incredible how you can find this kind of inner peace right in the middle of bustling downtown area. I'd personally give this spot a 10 out of 10. The architecture is super intricate and the sculptures are stunning. Plus, the temple is surprisingly open to visitors taking photos. But if visiting temples clashes with your own religious beliefs, I totally get that. I'll be sharing some alternative spots at the very end of this video, so you can easily swap this out. After visiting the temple, it was time for some Sichuan cuisine. Fun fact, Chongqing used to be part of Sichuan province a long time ago, though their food cultures share the same DNA. They are both famous for being bold, spicy, and numbing. My friend and I can both handle spicy food, so we ordered some really spicy dishes, but don't worry, there are plenty of non-spicy options. One quick tip, don't overeat at lunch. You may want to save some room for afternoon tea later as we are heading to some fancy places. Our next stop is a recently renovated district that becomes a huge hit in Chongqing lately. This place is called Xiahaoli. If you want to buy some gifts for your friends, this might be the place. Everything here has a great sense of design, and the best part for international tourists is the prices are clearly marked. Just like yesterday, we are going to walk our way from the top down. It's only a 2-minute walk from the metro exit. The paths here are all interconnected, so feel free to wander and pick any route you like as you head towards the bottom. When you reach this area, keep heading straight. You'll see unique boutiques on both sides. There's a viewing platform over here where you can see the full view of this place. You can go and take a look. After seeing this, we can just sit down and try some coffee or local drinks and even have dinner. Just take your time and enjoy the slower pace of your journey here. And with that, my friend and I are wrapping up our trip here. One last friendly heads up, if you are staying in Chongqing for another night, you're actually not far from the viral spot where everyone films those motorcycle videos. So this is our second day and our complete route for the trip. Coming up in the final section, I'm going to share a few other spots that were on my list, but I didn't get a chance to visit this time. This way you can mix and match to build your own perfect trip. I've organized all the places I want to visit into a table for your reference. Some spots can be grouped together on one route, while others might take a bit longer to explore on their own. This table doesn't cover everything, but it includes the best spots I found on Chinese social media and recommendations from my friends. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comments. That's all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Moving forward, we are going to take you to even more places, unlocking China through the eyes of a local. If there's anywhere specific you'd like us to visit, feel free to leave a comment below. Wishing you all a wonderful journey, and we'll see you at our next destination. 谢谢，拜拜。